What's up, Homestead homies? It's Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. I'm Doug.
I'm Stacy.
Today we're going to talk about why color is so important in your garden.
And why specific colors could even be a little bit better.
Ooh. All right, what you got?
All right, well, plants, you know, out in nature, they have pigments in them. And then the pigments give them their color. And there's three different types. You have ones like your porphyrins, which are, it gives you like the green color, the chlorophyll.
Right.
So plants like that. Then you have another one, which is your carotenoids, which gives you that yellow and that orange, those kind of colors, and some reds. And so that's going to give you your carotene, and it's also going to give you your lycopene, you know, and the different nutrients. And then the last one is you're going to get your flavonoids. And the flavonoids are the colors where you're going to get your red and your blues and your purples. And that is where I kind of want to stay today. And we're going to talk about what it gives you, which are called anthocyanins.
Anthocyanins.
Yes, and I like anthocyanins because they are kind of like a super antioxidant. They really kind of pack the punch. Science Daily did a article, and there's hundreds and there's studies galore
Thousands.
on anthocyanins, but it touted how that anthocyanin rich food can power pack like 2 times the antioxidant value than like vitamin C.
Right.
So vitamin C is so wonderful for the human body, and plants and vegetables that we grow in our garden are definitely what we want to put in our body to help heal us with inflammation, help with our immune system, and just overall health. Because you look at the color of your food, you know, that's going to equate to, you know, your health. And then that's not the colorful foods like gummy bears and M&Ms and stuff
Skittles.
like that. Yeah,
we know
you
you
don't
guys
want
left
that.
those comments before. Your Skittles.
Yeah, you definitely want the food that we can grow in the garden or get from, you know, an organic garden somewhere, community supported agriculture. You know, if you're shopping at your farmer's market, try to be a locavore. I like to call them locavores because those are people, that's where you're going to go and shop in your local area.
Right. Because
that food's closer to you, it's going to have more nutritional value.
Because you're getting it sooner.
Of course, because you know, a lot of times, you know, you go to the grocery store, even though, you know, you think you're buying organic and all that, but it's been sitting around a while and it's going to lose some of its nutrient value.
Right.
So that's why, you know, if you can grow a little garden on your back porch or have a potted garden.
Or your cold frame.
Cold frame, yeah. All those different ways that you can grow it, you're going to get more bang for your buck.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we're saying, and I always say, the more of these leafy greens and things that you can get into your diet, 7, 8, 9, 10 cups a day, is crucial to get a lot of the nutrients that we need. So what I want to do is talk about anthocyanin rich foods, which are your reds, your blues, your purples, those darker pigmented vegetables. And I'm going to talk a little bit about fruit, but today I want to focus more on the veggies and how important they are and how easy it is maybe to try them, you know, this spring and summer and fall.
Yeah, we grew the
planting.
purple potatoes last year. Those were really good.
Oh,
We're still eating them.
They're absolutely gorgeous too. I mean, if you have kids that are picky eaters too, it makes your plate look beautiful. I mean, it looks fake because they're so beautiful.
Right.
But those are going to give you that little antioxidant boost, more bang for your buck. And then, you know, and they look beautiful too.
Yeah, so your plate can't just be like a dark color next to a white color like steak and potato. I mean, you have to be able to get these veggies in there so it helps clean your body out and provide you with these nutrients.
Right. And then the thing is a lot of these studies, they show that helping with cancer prevention, helping with your cardiovascular health, helping with your immune system, your eye health, especially, you know, with macular degeneration and with cataracts, eating these foods is just crucial for what's going on.
Your hair, your fingernails, everything, your whole body.
Here's a big one for a lot of us, is your cognitive and your brain.
What did you say?
Your memory and helping with this anti-aging, it's very, very important to get these foods in.
Right.
So we're trying to get you guys to incorporate more and more of these foods. Try to eat, when we're talking these, you know, 1 or 2 salads a day. If you don't want to have one great big monstrous salad a day, then maybe break it up and get 2 salads. The more live raw food that you can get, the better.
Right.
You don't want to have like 2% raw food and the rest cooked food. You want to get, the raw food is still going to be your best, so it's really important. And I want to kind of go over some of these that you might want to try. It's still early enough if you're ordering your plants and things, you know, from Baker Creek or wherever you guys are getting your seeds from. to maybe try something new this year.
That's one of the benefits of the Baker Creek seed catalog, is that it is full-blown color.
It is
you
beautiful,
get to see
yeah.
all the things that they offer. They're always trying new things. And so they're our go-to. We use some seeds from M.I. Gardner and from Johnny's seed company, but Morgan
Seed Company. Morgan County Seed Company.
Yeah, because they're in Missouri. But, you know, just try different things. Don't always get the same things. And also, it's beneficial for your soil if you're always putting the same things over and over. It's just good to switch it up. You know, variety is the spice of life.
Oh, it definitely is.
All right, let's get into some of these that you want to talk about.
All right, so I'm just going to talk about like some of the heavy hitters, and the highest of all, and this is like, you know, the one that's closest to our heart. It is in the fruit family, and it's the elderberry. And that is going to tout like almost 2,000 milligrams of the anthocyanins, which is like a heavy hitter, way up there. Chokeberries are up there. Those are like the two top dogs.
Right. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, elderberries are great because, you know, they're great for the colds and the flu, influenza, what's going on. It's just great. So that's going to be top of the list. Everything else that we're going to talk about are below it. But I'm going to tell you one, and you're not going to believe it. You're not going to believe it. Do you even know what the second one will be? That's pretty close up there to almost 2,000 milligrams. Is blue corn. You believe it? Blue corn. So corn, it's got like 1,600 milligrams.
And it's heirloom, so you don't have to worry about GMO.
So yeah, look into that. Maybe if you want to try a different type of corn. There's like the strawberry and the blue, the popcorns, the darker, the black popcorns. Yeah. Maybe try doing that. Maybe one year you want to, you don't do as much corn. Maybe you want to do popcorn.
We do a lot of popcorn usually.
Yeah, I know. I love my popcorn. So the popcorn's good. And then it's going to start, like I say, going down from there. So you want to look at your vegetation. Now, probably one of the heaviest hitters on this when it comes to like overall health out of all these things is, I'm going to tell you, is red cabbage. Red cabbage, it has a little bit more of a, oh, I don't know how to say it, like a, it's not a nuttier taste. It just has more of a poppier taste flavor than regular green cabbage.
Right.
And it will last a little bit longer while it's sitting out. So like if you have it sitting out, you have you know, you're getting it, it's that time of year. I always do so much better with my red cabbage than I do the green. I have to process the green quicker than the red. It'll last longer.
And it looks much cooler when you're doing your fermenting.
It does look pretty. But it is super duper high. It's like the master in vitamin C. Of course, why did they use it to help with scurvy when they were traveling over here? I mean, it is loaded, and especially when you ferment it, it turns into like a superhero. So sauerkraut and kimchi and those things are great. But red cabbage is just great. It is loaded with so many vitamins and minerals, and it's a great detoxifier. And I'm going to talk about two other cruciferous vegetables, which would be like broccoli and cauliflower, which you can get in the purple varieties. So try to get them in the purple varieties. They're just really, really good. But it's a master detoxifier because we're inundated with all of this junk, the chemicals, everything in the air, and the foods that we're eating, things we're putting on our skin. So we want foods to help us to process and get rid of this stuff easily through our kidneys and through our liver and through everything. So it's a master detoxifier. It really helps. So for eating red cabbage, cooking it, making it raw, fermenting it, you can do so much for it. So if you always do green cabbage, maybe try some red varieties, okay? Then, like I was saying, there's the purple broccoli, purple cauliflower, and then here's another one that's pretty high up there in the milligrams of antioxidants of the anthocyanins is purple asparagus. And the funny thing is I kind of waited and I planted asparagus just for the first time last year. And
we have it growing wild around us as well.
Yeah, so when I want it, I just go get it. It's on the edge of the, yeah, it's all over around here. So our neighbor had some purple asparagus, and it was amazing. And they said it's so easy to grow. And that is going to be on my list. I'm going to plant a few plants of those this year of the purple variety because I really would like that. And so that might be one that you want to try. And then also, what about red onions?
Yeah,
Supposed to the yellow onions.
Yeah.
So red onions are going to be, you know, you're going to get a little more bang for your buck for the red onions over the yellow onions. But I'm not saying all these
they're all good.
They're
if you
all
can incorporate them into your diets, but just if you add those colors, you're getting extra. That's why you guys are spending all this time. You're watering, you're growing, you're weeding, you're looking after, you're caring for it. Why not make sure you're getting the most bang for your buck
you want
from
all
every plant
colors.
you grow?
So look at your garden and see, you know, when I was talking to your carotenoids, you know, the yellows and the oranges, that you're having some you know, carrots, and you're having some yellow peppers, and you're having, you know, mix of all the different colors, and then you have maybe, like we're talking about the purple, the anthocyanins, you might want to put the purple tomatoes, which I love. The Cherokee purple is one of my favorites. It tastes so wonderful, and I always go and I get those, and I love those. They're my favorite. And the black cherry, they grow very well, and they have a phenomenal taste. Cosmic purple carrots. There's another one. They look beautiful when you cut them and slice them. It's a purple. There's purple radishes. Radishes are really high up in the anthocyanins too. So maybe try, there's purple varieties. There's one now, it's an Indian version. I forgot the name of it. Puna? I forgot the whole thing. But it is it's lavender on the inside, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And it's a newer variety that Baker Creek has. And I was going to try that this year too. But there's lots of different purple and black type radishes. So look at the different eggplant. There's another one that's super duper high. And if you eat eggplant, remember, don't take the skin off, because all the anthocyanins and vitamins are on the skin.
And when you have a colorful plate too, it's, you know, the kids are going to really eat it probably better because it's not boring. And, you know, it has a little color. You can kind of dress up the plate a little bit. So it helps them as well. Yeah, those
cosmic purple, if you don't do them, carrots are beautiful on the inside because they got like a little yellow, orange, and white, and purple. And when you cut them, oh, it just looks like a work of art.
And you guys, you know you guys are planting those gardens and you're getting antsy pants. And like one day we get antsy pants around here, and then the next day it's 30 degrees and windy and snowy. So hang in there because spring is coming. And that's it, really. So make sure.
One more.
Oh, one more.
Look at also your peppers, because peppers come in like there's a chocolate pepper, and if you live someplace where it's a little cooler and you want earlier pepper because it's an earlier pepper, you could do the chocolate pepper. Then there's the purple varieties. So there are lots of different vegetables that you can find that have a lot of anthocyanins that are purple, as well as if you're going to do berries, of course, you know, your elderberries and black. And a really high one is your black raspberry. That's up there pretty high too, getting closer to 1,000 milligrams. If you're wanting those anthocyanins.
So we're challenging you guys to throw something a little new that you've never tried before in your garden this year, and then leave a comment down below on what vegetable with color that you're going to try this year. And you can leave the name of it, and it doesn't matter where you're getting it from, but just leave the name of it so we can kind of look after that. And then maybe later on this year in the late spring and early summer, we'll talk to you guys about how that worked for you, and that'll be pretty neat. So
anthocyanin power.
And don't forget,
check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
All right, so hopefully I know you guys got something off this video. And don't forget the essay contest is going on. You have to send a poem. And a couple of you guys emailed them. We want them mailed to the P.O. box. It's just a lot easier to keep track of, and then we can read them on the videos. So send them to the P.O. box. It's in every video, the address. And then we'll get those. We'll read them on the air. We're picking up 3 people that we like their poems the best. We've gotten a ton of them so far. We're going to start reading them more and more as we get closer to the deadline. So get your poems in, and we'll see you guys on the next video.
See ya. Hey guys, thanks for watching our video. You might want to check out these videos.
And if you want to become a Homestead homie, click the picture of us below.
We will see you tomorrow.